Week 59 of reselling online, and it has been a journey to get here. It's actually been a roller coaster of a week, and I say that every week, but this week it has. There's actually been quite a lot of unexpected things that have happened, which meant I wasn't at my full capacity. And there's a lot of lessons that come with this, because when these things happen, we need to know how to manage the store, how to manage your reselling, how to manage your sales, and what to do if you can't. So I'm going to touch on that a bit today. I've also got a couple of questions that I want to answer around tracked versus untracked, and how to make sure that this is very, very evident in your listings to help your buyers pick which one is the best one for them. Let's dive into it. Top item number one for this week were these Dark Sun novels. And what I mean by Dark Sun is this actually comes from the Dungeons and Dragons fantasy world. And I've had a buyer actually pay up for two different items as one purchase. Now, I've purchased these books. I think it was a total of 8 books roughly. I've paid $17.13 for these. That's from an average cost of goods perspective. And I've sold these for $238.97, profiting around $171.99 after postage and fees. And there was a few discounts in the postage as well, but super crazy. Now, these, they sold for full price. I had them listed for probably about 30 to 40 days. I had a few offers, or I gave a few offers. No one bid at them, but this person came through and just purchased them all, just bang, bang, bang. So I'm not complaining. Top item number two were some more fantasy novel books, and these were also similar to the Dungeons and Dragons, but these come from a world called Spelljammer, and I've paid $8.40 for these 5 books, and I've been able to sell them for basically $100 with a profit of $75.58. So once again, these books are really, really doing well. If you haven't checked out my book video, go check it out. I'll chuck it up on screen because I sell a lot of books. Next up, for top item number 3 were these StarCraft 2 limited editions. There was 2 of these, and one buyer purchased both, so I've done it as one little item here. I've paid $7.90 in total for the both of these. I got these from a garage sale, and I've sold them for $158, profiting $121.75. So just crazy to see what's been happening over this week. It did start off with a bit of a slow week, but the sales have come through, and we'll touch on that shortly. But once again, be on the lookout for these. Top item number 4. Now this one, it's a bit of a fun one. I've had this sourced, I think I saw this way back last year. There's no cost to it. I can't remember how I got it. Anyway, I've had this for, probably almost 300 days almost. And I've sold this for $29, but the catch here is it's gone overseas, and they've paid up for shipping for this. I've got some postage discounts, international postage discounts, which meant I actually profited $39.40. I think I ended up getting $20 back in postage discounts, and that's after signature and insurance and all that jazz. So it was pretty lucrative. But yeah, this was a Movie World spinner hat, so pretty cool. And top item number 5, I've actually sold these before, and I found them again. So I've paid $2.33 for these 3 mugs. Picked them up from Savers. I sold them for $45 and profited $35.92 after fees and postage. So as I mentioned, there were some lessons this week, and one thing that has been a bit of an obstacle this week is the unexpected arrival of being unwell. And it crept up on me. Fortunately, it was just a bit of a case of the man flu. You'll probably still hear it a little bit, but it meant that there were certain things within my business that revealed themselves in terms of gaps, or things which I knew that this was going to be a challenge, because you're fatigued, you're tired, you're not really keen to be doing anything, you can't go out sourcing. So there's a lot of challenges that come with it. And if you're a one-man band like myself, well, even more challenging. So a few little tips around this is, I've learned that, well, okay, you learn from some of the gaps that you potentially have, meaning maybe you realize how much of a bottleneck you are to get your postage out, or to list items, or anything like that. So this really helps you understand that, okay, how do you plan ahead for if this was to happen again, especially if I was in isolation for other reasons. So understanding, can you have a draft bank, meaning can you have a whole bunch of listings that are ready to go for a rainy day? It might just be pictures, but it might mean that you don't have to go out and do any pictures of your own when you're not feeling for it. But at the same time, on the contrary of this, it might mean maybe you still are happy to take some pictures and do some listings, having some quick and easy items. Now for this, I like to think of some of the def pile that you've got, or maybe some just easy items such as DVDs that you can quickly list because it's just a front and back picture, and you can get them up, done and dusted. But the thing here is to think about efforts, think about what's going to be easy, and making sure you do have some of those bread and butter items. Now, this is where a def pile does have its positives, because obviously if you can't go out sourcing, you still want to be able to list. Worst case, if you don't have items to list, worst case, if you are in isolation, or if you do need to take some time off because you're unwell, then you do have the additional option to do ending and sell similar items. And that way you don't have to necessarily take new pictures. You can just change up some of the text, change up some of the description, change the pricing, postage and all that detail. And maybe that will help you get through. So I wouldn't recommend relying solely on that, but that is your last resort. So a few different things to think about, a few different things to consider. Now, the other thing I wanted to touch on today was, which I mentioned at the start, was I had a few questions around how to manage letting your customer or buyer know that you do have the option, or they do have the option for untracked versus tracked postage. And this is primarily focused on media items. Now, there is a quick way to do this. You can see it up on screen. If you go down into your listing, this is predominantly on desktop, but you can do it on your phone as well. That when you do your postage service, obviously you're going to select letter untracked, and then you want to select letter tracked, or you can select your small box or whatever it may be. And you can add more services. You can even add more express, all these jazz. But the key thing here is you want to make sure that you're calling out that this is untracked. And if you want to select tracked, you need to select it yourself in the when they go to pay, right? So this is how I've done it. It works for me. I don't really have many people purchase tracked when it's coming to media items, because I've got saying this is how it will be sent, this is how long to expect it, la-di-da-di-da. Now you can do this on your mobile. Have a look on your mobile. It will be slightly different. You might have to modify it a little bit back on the desktop, but basically it's the same process. And that way I just have the little description in my description around what to expect, and then they can select it when they go to pay. So I hope that helps. I hope that answers your question. If you do have more questions on this, please let me know. So how has the week been? Well, 48 sales, $31.50 ASP. We've had a margin of around 70%, and cost of goods was only $132 this week. Revenue wise, we've done $1,500, and profit, we've come in just under $1,100. So it's a pretty average week, actually. Pretty good in terms of revenue and profit. It's actually above average, to be honest. Average cycle time is 68 days of things that have been selling. So it meant almost 70 days before these things went out the door. So it means I'm getting rid of some of that long-standing stock. And it also comes down to seasonal, also comes down to what people are wanting to buy. And sometimes some of these items I hadn't relisted in terms of how long they had been in the store. But goes to show this is quite a long period. Progress over time, as you can see here, just that roller coaster view. You can see that we are ups and downs. We are on a $1,500 week this week. Average is still sitting at around 1,100. I've added in the average profits and the highest and lowest and things, so you can see what I'm actually taking home and putting into my pocket. Listings and sales this week, I've listed a total of 107 items, and that was because I had a couple of cancellations, so I relisted them. Sold 48 as mentioned before, and we've been averaging around 15 listings per day and almost 7 sales per day. So pretty consistent, pretty solid, as you can see for the last few weeks. Here is that roller coaster view, the real roller coaster view. So the start of the week was pretty average, and then we had a big dip. Then we actually started to climb. We had a $445 day, just a few things out the door, bang, bang, bang. And then moving into the weekend, we basically just nosedived. But that is the roller coaster of it. How are we tracking for milestones? Now, I actually had this updated incorrectly last week. I do apologize for that. But here you go. You can see we're at $65,000, almost $400 for my total revenue. Next milestone is $75,000. For 2022, ASP for all items sold is sitting at $34, so we're a bit lower than the 40, but for items sourced and sold in 2022, as you can see, we're sitting at a $57 ASP, so it's working quite well. Profit, we're at 16% of my goal. Revenue, profit, sales, you can see all that for yourself, but it's going pretty good. Now it's time for some show and tell. All right, team, Monday morning and just packing the goods that have gone out, that have sold over the weekend that are about to go out. We've got some shoes. These guys have gone for 55 or 65, I think it was. Wiggles, $19. A couple of DVDs. I've got a few more which I haven't done yet, but this Cactus Jack was around 25, 29, so not too bad. Calvin and Hobbes, that's gone for a total of 28. This guy, I think it was just a quick 19 plus some postage. This was a bundle of video games, around 36, 39. Did it cheap, just wanted to get rid of them. That was all the Lego that I sold. That was $70 last week. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle vintage, that's gone for 60. Game of Thrones, still sealed. This is Telltale Game Series for Xbox One. It's gone for 60, still brand new. This little guy, I picked this up just a week ago. I have paid only $4 for him. Actually, probably a bit less, but just sold him for 45 plus $9 postage, so pretty good. The watches do well if you know what you're doing. Rational Man went for 39. Gone with the Wind and Scarlet as a bundle have gone for 40. So it's pretty good variety, but I think the best thing is these watches. I love finding these watches. and then being able to quickly flip them. So this is an older one. I'm pretty sure this is gold as well. So yeah, probably did it too cheap, to be honest, but had a few offers and just like, stuff it, let's just move it. Let's keep moving because it is a bit banged up. But anyway, let's pack it up. All right, team, it is Wednesday. A couple of items going out. We've got some Star Wars old 2000 action figures. They've gone for 40 bucks. Got Satisfaction gone for 20. That's sealed. A couple of movies here. One of these went for 29. One of these went for 19. A couple of John Waynes. They've gone for $9 each. They're both sealed, so that's the one buyer. Saints Row. I think that was just a quick $12 or something. This guy's gone for about 22. This guy's gone for, I think it was 20 plus 15. This guy, he's gone for 29 and he's been paid up with $47 shipping all the way over to the UK. We've got a couple of shirts. This is, where is this one again? Children of Odin, I think it was. And just another Jet Pilot bikini shirt. And yeah, not too bad. Also, this little pin that's going out, he's gone for about $13. I paid 13 cents for him, so quick little flip there. All right, team, it is Friday morning and just doing a quick little postage run. Got a few things going out. Look at the background there. I got a whole bunch of DVDs that I was able to pick up pretty good. So anyway, let's go through what we've got. We've got Mario Puzo, the Dark Arena, that has sold just this morning, actually. 2 Anne of Green Gables. These guys are going over to the UK. They've gone for 16 each plus $50 postage. 2 StarCraft editions. Actually, these have come from a garage sale. I think I paid $5 a pop, somewhere around there. And they've gone between 70 and 90 each. And they're going to the one buyer, so that's a quick win there. This guy sold this morning, the Non-Existent Knight and Cloven Viscount. This guy's going to Germany. They've paid 10 bucks and they've paid $26 to go to Germany. So I've got a bit of cash back on that one. Here is a nice little vintage pin that is I picked up for 13 cents. That went for 16 bucks. The Last Don, part 1 and part 2. This is from that DVD lot behind here. They've gone out just a quick 20 bucks on those. A couple more DVDs. This guy, I picked him up just the other day with a bundle of toys, and he's gone for $34, I think. This guy's gone for $39. MCAT, a couple more things there. We've got Street Fighter 5, went for 36, and Orange is the new Black Seal. That went for 18, I think it was. Yeah, and I think I got one more DVD I just got to pull out as well. So not lots, but some pretty cool stuff there, guys. Pretty cool stuff. Let's pack it up. Perspective. This I just like to look at to keep me honest, to see where I'm actually tracking in terms of ranking. I have sorted this by profit, so you can see how much profit I have earned for this week and where that ranks out of the last 59 weeks. We have ranked at 9 out of the 59 weeks, which is very, very solid. So very happy with this. Great to see some of these numbers continuing to show up in the top 10 of these later weeks. And of course, I would expect it more and more, but it's not always the case. So there you are. That is week 59. I hope this has given you some insight, because you know, one of the things that I always struggle with is taking time off, and not necessarily about resting. I love to rest and I do all that, but you know, when you aren't able to work at your 100% capacity, and how do you manage that? So this week really did challenge that, made me think, how am I going to maybe potentially hinder that from happening again going forward? I can't hinder being unwell, but I can hinder, you know, me not being able to put in my 110% into the store or into the shop or into reselling. So something to consider. Similar situations that we went through when we went lockdown, of how do you source differently, how do you pivot, how do you adjust, and once again, it makes you think differently. So I hope this has been encouragement to you. Of course, if you've got any questions, comments, chug them down below. More than happy to answer, and I'll continue to show up each week and share with you the journey of reselling online. Appreciate being here. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do the whole shebang, and hustle. Ciao.